Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm bringing you guys the best intelligence build in 2025 that easily levels all bosses, including the ones in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. So, let's begin. Starting off with the weapon, we're going to be running the Darkmoon Greatsword. As many of you already know, this is an absolute beast of a weapon that just slaps everything in the game. But what really makes it so powerful is all of the equipment we're using to boost this weapon's damage, so you'll want to watch the entire video. The Ash of War on it, Moonlight Greatsword, places a buff on the weapon that adds an extra 65 magic damage to it, an additional 15 frost buildup on top of the 55 it already comes with, changes the heavy attack so it now shoots out a projectile, and all while lasting 60 seconds. And it costs 32 FP, which isn't bad at all for all the things you get from this. When it comes to using the weapon, it's very straightforward. Every enemy that's around the same size of you, give or take a foot or two, basic attacks will be more than enough to take them out, and everything bigger than you, or whatever guy you're struggling with, power up the sword and drill them with charged up heavy attacks. Their health bar will be depleted in no time. A really nice thing about this weapon is you don't only have to do charged up heavy attacks to do good damage. When the Ash of War is activated, your basic attacks will also do increased damage. So if you're fighting guys that are extremely fast, like Melania for example, where you don't always get to land a fully charged heavy attack every opening in the fight, the basic attacks will still hit pretty hard. Now in order to get this weapon, you will have to complete a lot of Ronnie's quest line, which I will put a link to in the description down below. It's 100% worth it to get it done. This weapon's just completely insane. And to make this weapon hit as hard as it does, there's two armor sets you can take. One of them is really easy to get, something you can actually grab somewhat early on in the game, and the other one is something you can grab much later on. However, it does give you a better damage buff all around. So the early game armor is the Spellblade set. This is going to increase all magic damage from Ashes of War by 2% per armor piece. If you have the whole set, it's an extra 8% damage boost on the Darkmoon Greatsword's Ash of War. And to get this armor set, you'll have to complete a bit of Sorcerer Roger's quest line, which isn't that hard, nor does it take a long time to complete. Make sure to check the link in the description down below for this. The other armor set, the Rakasasha set, it increases your all-around damage by 2% per armor piece. Basically the same thing as the Spellblade set, but this will also increase the damage of your basic attacks as well. And it also offers more protection than the Spellblade set. So to get this, from the Reclusus? I don't know how to pronounce that, but the Reclusus River downstream site of Grace, drop down the gravestone platforms, then head north and turn east through a bunch of slimes to find the mausoleum, and the armor set should be in there. Now we're not done yet when it comes to boosting our weapon's damage. We're also taking the Magic Scorpion Charm that increases all magic damage by 12% for the trade-off of taking 10% damage, so try not to get hit. The Shard of Alexander that increases all Ashes of War damage by 15%. No downside to this one. The Two-Handed Sword Talisman, enhancing our attacks by 15% when two-handing our weapon, which obviously is what we're going to be doing. And lastly, Godfrey's Icon, increasing the damage of charged up Ash of War attacks and spells by 15%. And yes, this applies when we do the fully charged heavy attacks with our great sword while the Ash of War is active. It's kind of weird because you would think the Axe Talisman would work as well, increasing the damage of charged up heavy attacks, but strangely it doesn't, so stick to the 4 talismans I just mentioned. In order to get the Magic Scorpion Charm, you'll have to go through a bit of Ronnie and Preceptor Celavis's quest line in order for Celavis to give you this. I know, there's a lot of quests involved with this build, but it's all worth it in the end. To get the Shard of Alexander, there's actually 2 options. The first one, completing his quest line where you'll have to kill him later on in the game, or you can kill him right when you first find him and get the lesser version of the talisman, the Warrior Jar Shard. This one only gives a 10% damage boost to Ashes of War, but you can obtain it really early on and without having to do any quests at all. For Godfrey's Icon, you'll have to kill Godfrey the Grafted that can be found in a Golden Lineage Evergoal. And for the two-handed sword talisman, it can be found inside the highest structure in the Temple Town ruins after the fight with the Horned Warrior. Just continue up the stairs into the next room and you'll find it in a chest. Before I get into the stats, there's actually one more major thing I use to increase the damage of this weapon, and that's the Flask of Wondrous Physic. Tier-wise, I'm using the magic Shrouding tier, increasing all magic damage by 20% for 3 minutes. Really huge damage buff, so you'll want this. And the Opaline Hard tier, which gives a 15% damage reduction for 3 minutes as well. You could swap out the Opaline Hard tier if you really wanted to. I just like taking it because when you're doing boss fights, it's very easy to mistime a charged up heavy attack, and often you'll take a hit for doing so. So I found this to be a nice cushion to help reduce the damage when that happens. To get both of these tiers, the magic Shrouding one is dropped from an Erdtree avatar boss by the minor Erdtree in Liurny of the Lakes. And the Opaline Hard tier is also dropped by Putrid avatar boss next to the minor Erdtree north of Fort Ferrith. Finally, with the stats, if you want to match my build exactly, you'll have to be using the Astrologer class. If not, your stats may look a bit different from mine, but not to worry, there's a lot of wiggle room here. Anyways, you'll want 60 Vigor for a good-sized health pool. 20 Mind isn't needed, so I'd only worry about this at the end of the build. 25 Endurance to be able to fast roll, and also gives a decent amount of stamina so you can get off a few charged heavy attacks without fully depleting it. 16 Strength so you can use the weapon. Only 11 Dex is needed for the same reason as Strength. 80 Intelligence to increase the weapon's damage, and don't touch Faith or Arcane, leave them as low as possible. If you guys like the video, drop a like and subscribe, it really helps me out. See ya.